Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to show you how to place 4 buttons on a wall and how to position 4 spotlights against a wall. And I know that sounds pretty lame or weak to do, but this has application and applies to a tutorial that Epic Games has put out. And so this is one of the pieces of it. And then I'm going to do a follow up to this to add functionality to all this. But for right now, I just wanted to get the environment set up because it was a little more tedious than I thought it might be. So anyway, to get started on this, we're just going to go into Island Templates. We'll go to XL Grid Island and we'll just go Create. And I'm not going to say what... I've had to do this several times today because some of the devices were more finicky than I thought they would be. So I'm going to share that with you and hopefully save you some frustration and some time. So rather than building 4 walls and our own roofs and stuff, I don't see any point in doing that because this Fortnite editor already has buildings built for us. So why would we even use walls when we could just get the whole building? So anyway, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to search for something called Dusty Depot. And there's all these walls and stuff, but I'm just going to grab the whole building. So Dusty Depot, and we're just going to click and drag it onto the scene, put it somewhere right there in the middle. And if we hit F, we can get right down there and see it. Now, you might have to play around with your camera speed. You can turn your scroll wheel to go faster or slower. But look at this asset. Look at this right out of the gate. How long would this take to make? Forever. And I mean, look, little garbage on the ground. Every little item has to be placed or scattered or something. This would have taken me a day to do. And look, it's already ready to go. So yes, this is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And it's completely compatible. It's already optimized for gameplay. So, hey, this is a no-brainer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to search for something called the button. And this is considered a creative device. And of course it can be used to turn things off and on and has a lot of application. What we're going to do is we're just going to drag it into the scene. And as you can see, if things are blue up here, that means snapping is on. And sometimes snapping's your friend and sometimes it's not. It just depends on those circumstances. But for right now, it's our friend. And what we're going to do is if you hit the space bar, you can toggle through location, rotation, and scale. So location or transformation, and then rotation. On rotation, we're just going to drag it here and turn it 180 degrees. Whoops. That wasn't 180. 180. I'm checking it in its... If you make a mistake like that or you think you might have messed up, just delete the button and drag it back on. So we're just going to delete it back on and click and drag it and make sure we get it to 180 degrees the first time. There we go. So now it's going to be completely flush. Now in this environment it's kind of misleading because this box is about 4 feet tall. And so that button will be kind of low to the ground. So I'll hit spacebar again and we're just going to drag this up a little bit higher. Like maybe right about there. And now let's move in a little bit closer here and see. It looks flushed with the wall as near as I can tell. So we're good with that. Now here is the beautiful, amazing thing about Unreal Editor, Unreal Engine, how easy it is to duplicate assets. So if you press Alt, left click and drag and then click on that arrow, you can duplicate the button. And then Alt, left click and drag, duplicate it again. Alt, left click and drag, and you've got it again. And just like that, we've got our 4 controls all on the wall and all ready to go in our fully enclosed asset. And that's great. So now what we're going to do is search for add 4 spotlights. So to do that, we're going to clear out our search and we're going to search for customizable button. Now I see it already. It's right here. And again, we're just going to drag it onto the scene. And you see it lighting up the scene already. Now here's a tip. Sometimes in tight quarters, it can be difficult to just kind of grab everything and pull it around. You can, but it gets awkward. A lot of times it's easier just to use these controls. So this would move you in and out, this would move you side to side, and this blue would move you up or down. Now we can see customizable light in the outliner here. This is kind of a tricky asset. So now with the customizable light selected, we can come down here and under light type, we're going to switch to spotlight. And then once we do, if we come down here, we can control the cone angle and drag it down. Now what I would recommend doing is don't drag it to some odd value, but place it at like a whole number, like 4 or something. Or maybe a 5 if you want it bigger. Just so that everything's cleaner and neater. And then what we can do, I learned this the hard way. The spotlight has its own set of transforms on it, but you can think of these more as offsets. You want to go on the customizable light itself here on the static mesh and adjust it here. So otherwise what's going to happen is things are going to start getting really wonky. So don't adjust the transform on the spotlight itself, adjust it on the customizable light. Now with the customizable light selected in the scene and it adjusted, you press Alt and click on that arrow and we should be able to see somehow we didn't duplicate the light, we created another spotlight. So that's weird, right? So if I come down here on spotlight, somehow we were creating, even though I was selected on the customizable light, I was almost like creating another light. So this part is confusing. So I'm on the customizable light, Alt left click, and there we go. So there we go. That's how we do it. So make sure you're on the customizable light, the instance of it, then press Alt and click and drag and make another instance of it. Alt left click and drag, and then we've got our 4 lights up against the wall like that. And I think that's it. I don't think I made an extra copy of this one. So you have to be really careful. And I know I guess I had a lot of problems. So now let's just go into Fortnite Creative and see if this looks like what we think it looks like. If we hit G, can I get rid of the gizmos? So let's go into Fortnite Creative, launch the session, save everything, and see if it looks like it looks here. And if it does, then we'll call it a day. So that's the only downfall with this system I see is this lag time between doing something in the editor and then having to see it in the game. So I don't know how they're ever going to solve that because this all must be replicated on the server, I guess. And so I don't know how they're ever going to solve this problem. But the more I explore the Unreal Editor for Fortnite and the verse and this whole thing, I think it has so much potential. I'm really excited about it. And so I am starting to really see its potential. It's interesting because I honestly didn't know that much about Fortnite, but I knew a lot about Unreal Engine, but not Fortnite. And so it's just kind of been a little bit of a learning curve, just getting used to the whole Fortnite world and everything. But you just can't beat the assets that it has. I mean, it blows away the marketplace. There is just so much stuff, and it's so easy to duplicate assets and clone assets and move things around. And gosh, you can just create almost any kind of environment. I mean, just look at this one right here. You've got like water, and she's riding a dinosaur, and this robot's running with some kind of automated axe, and then there's I don't know what that guy is up there coming down on the limb. Okay, so here we are, and we spawned in. There's a spawner, and one of the things that I've learned is that if you hit P, you into this mode where you can start building things and getting creative. But we can come out of that. If you hit double tap the spacebar, you can fly. And this is the only way to go. And then you hit W, and then off you go. And then C, you can go faster. And see how our building, if I stop here, see how our building kind of LODs? If I go backward, I'm trying to go backwards. So see if I go backwards, you'll see the building go away. If I go forward, you see it pop into existence. So anyway, that's something to be aware of. because it looks like it's not there, and it is. So I'm going to turn on the camera screen. Like these. There I am. And then double tap to draw the ground. Now look at this. This is, I can run here and shift. Look at this asset. Look at this. Everything looks lined up perfect. Look at this whole world and what we've already created. It's incredible. Those buttons, see how high this chest is? So they're just about right at level. So anyway, that's all I had for today. Take care, have a great day, and stay tuned for the next tutorial. I'm going to follow up on this one.